Okay, share my screen. All right. And I'll just move you guys over. Oh, one more thing. Let me get the cursor on. There we go. Okay, so like we were discussing just at the beginning, Neo has come out with a new update. Reclaim host. Hang on one second. All right, I just reclaimed host. I don't know what that banner was, but I guess we're good. You can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. So this is in the little town of San Marcos up on the mountain there. It's one of the few countries that was never invaded. You can see why. Yeah, it's a steep climb to get up there. But anyway, yeah. So this is what I got to just playing around with their new masking and some of their effects. This is where it was beforehand. It was kind of a dull, overcast, boring day, and not real pretty. So let me just take this back to original so you get an idea what it looks like. And what we did, a couple things. They've added a histogram finally, which is nice. And if you turn these little guys on, like Lightroom, you can see where you're blown out and so forth. You know, and your shadows will come out in blue, and your blown highlights will come out in red. So that's a nice feature to have. The other thing now that they've done is, and I think this was in earlier versions, but when you go to develop, if you don't do anything else first, your develop stays in RAW. So you can do, RAW moves instead of working on a conversion. So I think once you start working on some of these others, I think internally it converts it to a 16-bit TIFF. They really haven't admitted that, but I think that's the way it goes. So if you've got profiles and you can load them in, you can load your camera profile in here, or Adobe Standard. So you got Adobe Standard, you've got camera defaults, and Luminar's default. So you can see the different defaults there. Let's just, I don't know, we'll just do an arbitrary camera default, whatever that is. And I usually like to put a little smart contrast in to start, just to see where we go with that. And I'm going to watch my histogram now that I have one. I'm going to take those highlights down a bit. Even a little more, something like that. And shadows don't look too bad. Okay. Now I can play with my whites and blacks. I can bring the whites up a little bit. Keep my blacks down. All right, I'm going to turn these on just so I can see when I get too far along. So if I go all the way, you can see the blue coming up now.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an idea. So probably somewhere in there. Okay. And my highlights, I could probably take those down a little more. Yeah, just do that and take the whites down a bit. Well, I'm going to be changing this sky anyway, so I'm not going to worry about that for right now. I'm more concerned about my shadows, I think. Now, another thing I would consider doing is playing with the curve a little bit. Kind of get a little natural contrast there too. There we go. Actually, just pushing the middle up. I'm going to hold the 3/4 to the highlights since it's already blown out. I may even pull it down a little bit, get a little more detail up there. Then you can play with temperature if you want, and noise reduction and so forth. Once I go to the next one, or any of the other tools, I'm just going to go to enhance. You'll see develop is no longer raw. You can continue using it, but it's not at a raw basis, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but anyway. I usually like bringing this into play. It gives it a nice feel. See what it does with the sky. Yeah, I don't think it hurts the sky much. Let's take a look now. Yeah, we're good on Our histogram looks pretty nice now. Nothing's blown out. So if we use these eyeballs on the actual tool, you can see what it's doing. If you don't want it to work in certain areas, you can mask it. So just for the heck of it, let's just do some masking. They've got this new AI mask. They've added linear and radial masks too, besides just the brush. So that's kind of nice. When you do the AI, it does this little tricky gimmick, like it's exploring the image. But it'll give you some choices. So basically, it's giving you sky and flora, which isn't too bad, architectural, and then you got a natural ground effect, and so on. And you can take these and combine them together if you want. So maybe I could take mountain and architecture to work this area, and then I'll just get rid of this over here. So to do that, I can use a brush, I can use a gradient, I can do whatever I want. I think I'm just going to use a brush. So if I go back here, grab myself a brush and make sure it's full up and just kind of erase here. There, so on this, the mask only affects the areas that are red. Okay. So now when we, another problem. If you open and close this, it opens a new one. So if you do that by mistake, just go up here to edit and it'll be there. All right, so now I can look at the before and after. There we go. I can even kick it up a little bit if I want. So there we go. Okay. I'll say I want to go back and maybe make this stuff a little more receding and add a little fog or something to it. I could maybe take the exposure up a little bit on it. I'm just looking at the valley. I'm ignoring this area. Okay. So maybe something like that, or maybe I might want to make it a little darker and ominous. Yeah, that could work. All right. On this particular mask, I'm just going to, again, use the AI. And since it's already figured it out once, it's pretty quick. Okay, so I'm going to add that in the mountains. Maybe I want to do something else back here. So for now, I'm just going to grab a brush real quick. And I'm going to erase this area here, anything that's in the way. Okay, and maybe up here, maybe I only want well, I'm going to invert it first. Let me go back here. So under masking actions, I could just invert. If I want to see it, I just use show. Okay. So now I can go to brush and erase parts I don't want to be used here. So at this point, okay. So now when I go into this, come back. I did it again, didn't I? I guess it's a bad habit hitting the top of the bar instead of adjustments and masking. Okay, so let's see if the mask still held. Should be there. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So I want to hit adjustments, not the top of the bar. Okay, so maybe I want to just, maybe take that down a bit. Highlights up. Anything else in here? Nope. All right. Now, the other thing I may want to do is just kind of soften that out with a fog or something. So in masking, I'm going to go to actions and copy this mask. And we'll go back to tools and maybe we'll just try. What kind of atmosphere here? Now, if we go to masking and you go to mask actions, you can hit paste and then it'll only work in that area. So you can see where it's working now. And maybe you might want to add some details back up in here to bring it a little more pronounced and forward. So if we go back here. I usually like to look at 100%. So if I'm looking here. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. All right, so I'll go back here to masking. And just grab the architecture. Okay. Maybe we might want to bring some of these rocks in with it too. We'll take a look at it. Yeah, I think the rocks are a little strong. So what I'm going to do is just get a brush and take my strength down, be like 25%, and then just go to those areas. Actually, I should be erasing. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that. And then this area I want to get rid of 100%. So now it's pretty much on the building. The other thing I kind of liked was to warm it up a little bit. So in landscape, you've got dehaze, but I don't know if you want to do that overall. I think maybe just in the sky and on the building. I think I want to leave the valley kind of hazy. So let's just watch the sky and the building and the cliff. And then we want to add some golden hour to it. There we go. There is a foliage enhancer, but it's really strong, so don't use much of it. You see how really glaring green it can get. So just a little bit might help. Okay. And this looks like a pretty easy one to mask, so I'm just going to go and paint it. Just take a brush real quick. Say I want to just paint it in here. There you go. So we can even push that up a little bit if we want. Take a look. I don't think the dehaze is helping much, so we'll trim that down a bit. So that's what that's doing. Now let's just kind of get an overall look here. So there's where we were, and this is where we've come to so far. I think for the sky, I might want to put some more structure in the sky, or maybe even just do a development and add more exposure and so forth. So I'm just going to watch the sky real quick. Take it down, add a little more contrast. Take the highlights down. Yeah, a little, just a smidge of white. Maybe you take the black style, make it a little bit more dramatic. Okay. I'm not worried about these shadow areas here because I'm only gonna put the reflection in the sky here. So again, we'll go back to masking and we'll go for sky. Okay, and I see it's a little bit clipped out there, so just get a brush. Again, just erase a little bit here, across here. There we go. So now that I see this, I may want to adjust accordingly. And you want to cool it off a little bit. You see I'm getting a little bit of haloing here. So what I can do is go back into the mask. Just take a brush, nice small one. And let's get it up to 100% here. Or maybe, yeah, 100 is pretty good. Just move over here and then just take it off where you see it's got a gap there. Just fill it in. So these masks aren't perfect yet. Like Al mentioned, Adobe's got a much better algorithm right now. Generate these masks, but this is our first crack, so we'll see how it goes. If you want to stay in the program, it's not too bad. It gets you pretty close. Yeah, maybe there's a little in here. All right, so you take a peek. Yeah, that's a little better. I see I got a little fringe on a mask here. I can go back and figure it out some point. Let's see here. It's this one. Yep, there it is. So again, do the same thing. Just get a brush and just erase that out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that looks a little better. And then you can just keep going from there if you want to add some more things. I find real light's kind of interesting. You've got near and far. I usually crank it way up, see what it does. So that's what it's considering near. So maybe I just want to darken that corner down a little bit. And then far, let's see where far comes off. You know, maybe I may just want to do something like that. And then you've got the ability here on this depth scale to move it along. You see how it's going up the side of the hill? There it's all the way at the bottom left corner. Now it's just going to move its way up. So you can kind of take it like that. And you can do more than one of these. You can stack them just by turning it off and then turning it on again. And let's say I want to move this over more like that. So you can do these even without masking. You know, take my far and keep it about the same. And then I can turn it on and off again. See where I'm at this time. Yeah. We just darken that up a little and then somewhere like that. Okay. So I think they may add a little bit to it as well. Got to keep it a little bit on the stormy day, but maybe some sun's coming over and washing this. And things are going to clear up. So I think that's about it on there. So we've got Again, just a quick review. If you go into masking, let me find something with a mask here. Yeah, atmosphere had one. Okay. So I go here to masking. I'll show the mask. Yeah, you can see it. So you've got the ability to fill it completely, invert it, clear it, and now you've got copy and paste, which is really great. And then you've got this AI mask now. You've got linear gradients and radial gradients. The other thing, which I can just show real quick on the AI masking, is say you had something like that. If you click it again, it'll reverse it. So like say we got the architecture here, click it again, it will reverse it. So you've got the ability to do that too. You can kind of tag them and build them together. So once you start thinking of ways of using them, you can add one overall mask and then put the other one in and reverse it so that it doesn't affect that area. So any questions? Nope. Okay. Well, let's get started on review. Oh, let's see. I guess we can start with Kim. Are you there, Kim? Oh, she's out. All right. Is Jim Bowman here yet? No, I don't see Jim either. Okay. How about you, Wendell?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. All right.
These are all from that trip we took a couple of weeks ago up in Bryce Canyon area and Zion. So was trying to get photographs that really showed the immensity and the scope of the place, but of course that isn't possible, I don't think. It works a little better here than at Zion, but anyway, I ended up with pretty much postcard type views.
Mhm.
I'm sure there's a lot more dramatic scenes, but they'd require more hiking than I was wanting to do. So pretty much took from the tourist overlook areas. These are all just processed in Lightroom and just worked to try to get the color the way I remembered it, as far as the tint, the reddish on the rocks. Now, I see on my screen here, there's not much red showing up. It's kind of a tan, so I hope yours is showing up better than mine is.
It's a little red, but it is kind of quick toward the yellow tan.
Yeah, I actually was afraid of going too far on the color temperature. I usually do bump that up to the warm a little bit on photos. I just like it better, but this time I was pretty careful about that. Didn't make it look too red. But anyway, this is just one of the viewpoints. Let's see, it's that's the inspiration point.
Mhm.
And it's just amazing, all those towers out there. And so as far as processing is pretty much the usual. Did use the linear gradient on the sky and just more clarity, typical things to pick up some of the detail in the background. I think I used dehaze pretty much on all of them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they tend to fall off toward the back pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't know if they had any of the smoke from the wildfires further south, but it was a little hazy up there. Anyway, that's about all I can say about this one. The next is pretty much the same. Just got this one at least got some different shapes and colors to look at. And I guess it's just some sort of a clay stone outcroppings that survived the erosion.
Yeah, I was always amazed the way these basins came down. They're just natural. They almost
Yeah.
look man-made.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just like snow sliding down a slope.
Yeah.
I guess the gravel and sand doing the same thing. But
Mhm.
yeah, there's several of those. A lot of those are kind of dull looking, so I didn't take too many of them. But I look down the valley and you can kind of see what might be a road even down there and trails and all.
Yep.
Anyways, a fantastic place.
It is. It's one of my favorite places on earth.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I
great.
remember I had a Viewmaster slide back when I was a kid.
Mhm.
This, I don't know if anyone else remembers Viewmasters.
Oh, yeah.
Those are kind of neat things for the day.
Mhm.
Anyway, this is the first time I actually got to see it.
Yeah.
Did you notice any horseback riders?
We did at the last place, I think it was the Sunrise, closer to the visitor center, and there was a group of people going by on horses down into the valley. So, and then there was,
See if I can find mine. This has been back in, I think, in the late 70s. We was there. We spent 4 hours on horseback.
oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I also saw one of the employees leading several horses without riders back up the slope.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think people kind of gave up on that, got sore
Yeah.
butts or something.
You're talking about the Viewmaster. My dad had this old Revere. I just found it the other day, which was a stereo camera. And it's got
Oh,
a
yeah.
little level when you look through, and it mounted 2 slides side by side, and then you'd put them in a viewer and you get a 3D effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was his favorite tool. It's kind of like
Yeah,
a
that-
Viewmaster.
Yeah, and I think Viewmaster actually had a camera that would take the pictures that would fit their discs. I don't know what you did. I never got into that, but I suppose you might have had to send the film off to Viewmaster
Right.
and they'd mount it on the disc. But anyway, yeah, I remember seeing those stereo cameras in the catalogs, but that was too many complicated things for me at that age.
Yeah, yeah. That was always fun to look at them when we got home.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we'll move on to the more expansive view. Now, this one I did use the Lightroom merge tool, and it just worked perfectly.
Mhm.
Off the left, you can see some of those slopes of the gravel and sand coming down. That probably eroded off the cliffs, kind of an alluvial fan. But this is the kind of view that I guess gets a little closer to giving a feeling of what it really is like there.
Yeah.
But again, it's the kind you see up on the wall in the visitor center gift shop.
Right. How many images was this?
Just 2.
Oh, okay.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's cropped down quite a bit, top and bottom.
Mhm.
Anyways,
Nice.
the next ones, I've got more to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, what was 2 weeks ago, I guess we were talking about, I tried vertical panoramics for mostly Zion. Well, I'd first using Photoshop, and then you'd suggested Lightroom did a better job. Well, this, I think, is what Lightroom did. Photoshop did a similar one, but I forgot which one this was. But anyway, this is what it did when I tried to combine 2 vertical images.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I could have made it into something, but there is the problem that the trees are so dark, and once I've combined it, it'd be kind of hard to get those lightened up. So that's where I went to what you showed, the old school method of just using Photoshop
Mhm.
and making layers and just stacking them up and moving them around. And so the next one shows what I did in Photoshop.
Mhm.
And you can see I had the trees on a layer that I could lighten up easily.
Mhm.
And then, the upper part of the mountain, I could match the
Yeah,
color. I
yeah,
wanted.
that's quite a bit of difference there.
Yeah. So I guess in the future, if I want to do verticals, I'll just go back to the old method. And I did use the skew and other things to work the juncture to get the vertical lines to match up and all. And it
Mhm.
didn't distort it too much. So I was quite happy with the way the overall thing worked, because I did like those green trees against the cliff.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of a contrast of colors there. And I think, I don't recall if I replaced the sky on this one or not. I did on the next one.
Mhm. Let's go back to this one real quick, 'cause I'm just curious if you couldn't do something with those trees in here and just crop similarly.
Yeah,
I don't know. Let's just
yeah.
dig in the camera raw real quick and see if it'll identify those greens. Or maybe we might have to mask them out.
Yeah. Well, or the other way would be to, before going into the merge tool, to lighten up the trees
Mhm. Yeah.
originally, but it did work better at having them two separate layers that I could see at once.
Oh, I never remember where everything is in these different things. Right.
Yeah, the colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's when I
Let's just
usually
try
use the
that
color
one.
mixer.
Yeah, it sure doesn't find
Yeah.
it that easy.
Yeah.
I guess the other thing you might try, I'm just curious now,
Yeah.
is to just see if maybe color range might do something. I
Oh,
don't know. Let's just grab this green here. And, where's, no, in Lightroom, it gives you a different refinement, I think.
Yeah, there you
Lightroom, you get like a little box and then little fall offs that you can adjust. I don't see them on here.
Yeah.
I'm missing something. I don't know. Anyway, I guess we could see if maybe we can
Oh, there you're getting a little bit.
get a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it's affecting these areas too. So I suppose you could subtract with a brush and,
Yeah.
and then go in here and take out this area. All right, get my density way down. There we go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, get back in here.
Oh, yeah.
You can add it where you don't want it.
Mhm.
And then there we go. Yeah, so I guess you can put it a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think you have a little more control the way you did it.
Well, yeah, it seemed like maybe do, and it really wasn't that hard with just two images
Mhm.
to put that together.
True. True. When you have 5 or 6 in there,
Yeah.
different
Well,
angles, it gets a little more difficult.
the next one is 4 images put together.
Mm.
And well, there's actually a 5th, because I did replace the sky on this. It was just kind of a plain white sky that matched too close to the colors in the image, but anyway, as I say, those were 4 separate images looking up, and it actually I was quite happy with the way it turned out. It does have a falling over backward look to it, but I think the only way to avoid that really is to back off about 200 yards and take
Yeah.
a picture of the face of the cliff, but then I'd lose the detail of this little rock arch and the pool at the bottom, which was the most interesting part of the image, I thought. So
Yeah, I wonder what distortion or skewing you might be able to play with this a little bit.
yeah, I probably could have used the skew and stretched out the upper part. It might have
Yeah.
uh,
Maybe just,
done something. Yeah.
something that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
A little too far, but yeah, you're gonna have to make the make the canvas bigger.
Yeah. I didn't
know
use
there's
a
an easier
skew.
way to do this now. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Al, do you, if I want to make the canvas just as big as where I stretched it, there's a way to do that. I can't remember. Do you offhand? I know if I just make it too big, it would be fine. Yeah, like
What was that, Sandy?
if I wanted to make the canvas fit where I just stretched that out to just that big, I know there's a way to do it. I just can't.
You're in Photoshop,
Yeah,
go to size,
Yeah. Yeah. Image and canvas
Image.
size.
and think canvas size.
yeah, I did do it with canvas size, but there's one where it'll just go to where your points are, so you don't have to guess.
Oh,
I think, isn't it content to where, and then I forget what the other thing is from there.
Yeah, I remember seeing it once or twice. All
Yeah,
right, well, I'm just gonna add 2 inches and then we can crop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Did that?
Yeah. I
that do
never
it?
use the automatic. I just make it bigger before I start.
Yeah, that's always an easier way to do it. Yeah. So let's go back here to inches. Let's go to like 5 inches. What the heck? There we go. We're getting closer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the other way to do it would be to just take the darn thing and make it smaller. There you go. The other way. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you still have to
Yeah.
crop or do content aware fill or something to it. And I don't know that it still looks like it's falling back, but maybe not as severe as it was, in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Okay, I think it looks great the way it is.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. Yeah, I don't mind
yeah, I
that.
don't notice.
Okay,
Anyway, thank you, Sandy, for getting me started down that line.
okay.
Never need it again.
Yeah,
It really wasn't that bad. This did take about an hour to do,
yeah. It's
plus with all the layers and the
right.
exposure, plus the fitting vertical lines together.
Yeah, and it gets quicker as you do a few of them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like anything. All right, cool. Well, those are nice. I like that. Thanks.
Good.
Okay. Well, I guess we can just run down the line here. Okay, so we just grab the whole batch here. There we go. Well, it wants to keep that one separate, so we'll show that one first. Are these in any kind of order, Al? Is Al here?
Okay, yeah, I'm still here. I had mine on mute.
Oh, you're on mute. Okay. Are these in any kind of-
Okay, that was taken in front of my house Friday morning before I left for Sedona.
Ah, okay.
And I think those are Border Patrol helicopters, and they were flying low all over our place, half hour to 45 minutes or longer.
Ah, okay.
And I have some closer ups, but that's just a close up of a helicopter. And that's kind of shows where they are.
Uh-huh.
But it's a snapshot, not an art photo, but that's okay.
Sure. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, pretty quick shutter speed there.
Yeah, it was on P for perfect, but
I like that.
uh, if I wasn't careful by shutting down those rotors like that, I could have brought the the helicopter down, but
There
it
you
seemed
go.
to survive it.
Yeah, you gave him enough lift to keep up there,
Yeah.
huh? Good for you. All right, let's get to the rest of them now.
Okay, this was taken yesterday, 10:30, just outside of the resort that the room that I'm in. I can turn around and look out the window and see that scene. You can't hardly see it. If you know where it is, that's Oak Creek and down in the bottom, south of Sedona, just south, like 3 miles, 4 miles. And I took several pictures of that. And I didn't like it with my 24 to 240, even at 24. So I got my 15 to 35 out. And that's at 15 millimeters. And I that's my favorite picture of the 3 I'm going to show you, but the other 2 are for educational purposes.
Okay.
The one thing I thought would be worthwhile pointing out, that fence is straight. But if you look in the lower right-hand corner, there's a little bit of distortion from the lens in it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not much, but a little bit.
Yeah. Looks like it's rounding the corner here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just bent, that one post, it bent around it.
Mhm.
But other than that, I'm sure the distortion is there on the lower left-hand corner, but you don't notice anything there that's distorted.
No, the fence looks like it's kind of wants to turn out to
Yeah.
outside the picture, I think, a little bit. On the
Yeah,
last
looks like
one.
it's
Yeah,
starting to
right in
turn this
there.
way.
Yeah, but just barely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, were you a little skewed to the left in this composition anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
But
would make sense.
now, composition wise, I haven't done a thing with that photo. That's the composition right out of the camera.
Okay, so I guess what I'm saying is your point of view is not straight out, it was a little to the left so that your distortion is more prevalent on the right side.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. All right.
Well, and I think it's more at the corner than it is up in the center.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't do this on purpose. While I was taking pictures, I also took a picture in the other direction. And then I got them in Lightroom and I said,
Oh.
the way I took those pictures, I wonder if I can paste them together. And so I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
And that's 2. Now, I can't think of too many times where I would have felt like I needed to stitch together 2 15 millimeter shots, but that's what 2 15 millimeter shots pasted together, stitched together in Lightroom looks like.
Very similar to when
And the
you,
fence is not straight there either.
yeah, looks very similar to when you do a panorama of something straight like this with a camera on your phone and you pan around it, it bends the near area like that.
Yeah.
Being straight. Yeah. It's
Well,
just
I was
design
actually
optics.
standing when I took these pictures pretty close to where the bend is.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
but I thought it was kind of interesting to see what 2 15 millimeter pictures would look like stitched together.
Mhm.
And so, and it gives an interesting proportion. I love those trees.
mhm.
So,
Yeah, those are nice.
Now, the next one I took this morning. I took one last night the same way, but I like this morning's better because it's about the same time of day. And that's the same scene, but that's 6 verticals
Oh,
taken from the same spot. So I wanted to compare, and this is the same lens, but it's zoomed out to 30 millimeters.
Mhm.
So I have that at 30 millimeters with 6 pictures instead of 2. And that's what I got. I think the primary difference is this is a bigger file.
Probably, yeah, let's see here, somewhere we can do a range. Range 2 up horizontal here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. There. Let me just move this one up a bit. That give you a
The one I took
comparison.
this morning was about an hour earlier than the one last night. So, or the one yesterday. So I've
Mhm,
got a little more sunlight yesterday than I did this morning, but
mhm. So you can see the difference in the distortion between the two quite easily. I don't know. I think I like the more dramatic one with a more distortion, actually.
Charlotte
I mean,
liked
if
that
you're
one
going for
better.
it, you might as well go for it,
yeah.
right?
What's that?
I said, if you're going for it anyway, you might as well really go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was just a kind of, the first one was an accidental experiment, and then the second one was an experiment on the experiment. So
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for bringing those in. I think I'd go with the wider one though. You know, the more distorted one. That's just my nature, I guess. All righty. Let's see what you got here, Don. Oop, did they all go? No. There you go. There we go.
Well, I focused on flowers since we had all the rain, so these are all flowers. These ones here are what we call Dustin's britches.
Hmm.
They're kind of towards the end. You can see a couple of them look kind of grungy look, and they're a fairly sky blue, but the blue's pretty well faded out of them. So I went back a week later and they were all gone. So
Mhm.
Where were these taken?
in Ohio at the Johnny Appleseed Park.
Oh. Very good.
It's just pretty much straightforward in Lightroom.
Are
Yeah.
those petals completely closed? Like, it looks like they're fully around.
Yes, they are.
And
Yeah,
so
they're solid.
you got empty
Yeah.
space inside it.
No.
Huh.
The flower, the petals are at the bottom of the yellow are the petals.
Hmm.
Wow. Very unusual.
Yeah.
Yeah, really different. Yeah, I like your depth of field and the light plays well. Maybe just a hint darker down here would bring your eye up here, but I don't think
Okay.
it'd take much.
Yeah, I used the 90 millimeter.
To the macro or?
Macro, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
thought-
I lose words too. Don't feel bad.
I completely lost it.
It's a Green
I-
Valley moment.
Yeah, and I think aperture was probably around, it was pretty high aperture because it's such a shallow depth. But I'm thinking the aperture was up around 25. I think.
Mhm. Yeah, very nice. Okay.
These here are bluebells and geranium. These are in our garden.
Oh, nice.
I used my macro again on that and put it into topaz. I done a painterly look on it, and I brought it back out into Photoshop. And then I took the painterly off of it and just added, just brushed a little bit of the painterly look in the down at the tops of the geranium and on some of the darker parts of the bluebells, and then put it back in photos or in Lightroom and done a select subject on it and inverted it and then turned the background black.
Okay.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well, that's a quick, easy way to get it dark. Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that subject selection.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
takes a lot of headache out.
Mhm.
you bet. Well, I guess if you didn't want to run back to Lightroom, but if you're keeping it on Lightroom, it doesn't matter. But for those who don't, you can just do it in Camera Raw the same way.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
thank you. This is just an individual bluebell that I shot it pretty close to the macro.
Mhm.
And then just use the sliders and stuff in Lightroom.
Yeah, I really like the subtle blue shadows. You're getting another incidental light in here.
Yeah, they're from a distance, they look really blue
Mhm.
until they start getting older. Then they start fading out.
Yeah. Yep, just like the rest of us.
I heard that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice and crisp. I like that.
That's what I was working on the festivals and stuff, and that's what I was really focusing on. And that's why the blues and stuff kind of faded out on me.
Mhm. Well, that works nicely. And just the way your focus is working, it's just drawing you right in there. So yeah, you got it.
Thank you. I can't tell you what this is. This was out in the woods. I'm not enough of a botanist to know what these plants are, but I just really like the colors and the pistils on this one too.
Yeah,
You got everything so nice and sharp. It's really nice.
yeah.
And that's at 90 Nikon macro.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
But I'd like to say I was close, but I also, the aperture was way up around 30, 35 on this one. I think pretty well high as I could go with it.
Yeah. I like what you show of the stems and maybe some other little bulbs or
Oh, yeah,
flowers not opened yet
they're
down below.
they haven't opened yet. The
Yeah.
one there, you can see where it's just starting to open up. It's got a little light, like white down the crease of it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, your eye goes right here at first.
Mhm.
And you start
Yeah.
exploring, there's some beautiful things going on here.
Yeah, it provides support for the flower.
Mhm. Yeah, that's very pretty.
Thank you. And I have no clue what this is. This is actually on a tree. And at first I thought maybe it might have been a buckeye bloom, but I looked buckeyes up and they don't look anything like that. So I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, I just wanted to come tighter on this. Might
I could, yeah.
yeah, might give it a little more. Oh, that's a little tight. Missed the bottom there. yeah.
But on this one, instead of darkening it, I lightened the background because everything behind it was bright. It was bright anyway, so I just added more white to it after I
Mhm.
selected the subject.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
yeah, the light was just too much behind it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, this way you get a little more richness out of it
Mhm.
without having to overcompensate. Yep, I think that would do it. Okay, well, thanks. Those are great.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Jim Bowman,
Hmm.
here I see. Hang on, let me just close this one up too. There we go.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, I had some, it was really just a group of coincidences that brought this together because I had an orange flower in behind it, but way behind, and green around that. And so it just turned out. Didn't have to do much to it at all, except, you know, just bring up the colors. But this is done in Upper Michigan, UP.
Are you back there now or are you still here?
No. I did this last year. I'm not going to go this year until late. So
Ah, okay. Yeah, I'm just wondering on this one, maybe taking some of this left side off. You, yeah, something like that. Might help it out. Make it a little stronger.
Yeah.
I like the blue incidental lighting you're getting here in the bee's legs.
yeah.
Huh.
Very good. Okay, so this is up around Vermilion Cliffs,
Oh, yeah.
and kind of looks like a
Oh, yeah.
castle over there.
Mm-hmm.
But so I just thought it was an interesting formation. I never saw a mountain look like that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like these little puffs here too. Little puffs of cloud.
Mm.
I don't know where that came from.
I'm just wondering if cropping this little foreground grass off might,
Yeah, I
Right,
think so
right.
too.
yeah,
Yeah, I think so too.
yeah, something around there.
Kind of, at first it gives you a sense of depth, but
Yeah,
the more you think about it,
Yeah.
kind of just gets in the way.
mhm.
Yeah, I like that better.
Yeah, and then maybe
Mhm.
darken this down a little bit. Not too
Actually, I
much, you
kind
still
of
wanna
like the
roll.
grass in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it could go either way.
Yeah, I played with both and
Mhm.
I couldn't make up my mind.
Did you have more grass?
No, there was it just fell off there, but
Yeah. I'd have liked about a little bit more grass, actually.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. So I thought maybe just getting rid of it might be the alternative. The light there gets really dramatic though.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Oh.
yeah, so this is about 5 or 6 layers of a I got this up at Wilcox, I think, and there was just an old junkyard there, and I put layers of various kinds of textured, and I just blended them together, and that's what you got.
Mhm.
Did you add the saguaro? I guess it is off to the right. and the
Yeah,
red's
it was
stuck.
just, it was there. It was like a metal piece that was laying
Hmm.
there. But it just sort of kind of was interesting
Uh-huh,
the way it
Yeah.
fell together there.
yeah.
I'm just wondering, maybe I ought to minimize these little lines here a bit.
Yeah, they were a part of the texture, but you're right. They
Oh,
probably
yeah.
just distract.
Mhm. Yeah, I find that a lot of times in topaz, a lot of textures have some weird things you just want to get rid of. And I think you can do it with a mask,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
very
that's a good
subtly,
one.
with each texture, and then let the other one behind it come through.
Yeah,
But now that you're here, you can just easily clone that, or a healing brush will
Mhm,
go away
Yeah.
pretty quick.
mhm.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. There's just so many nice things going on, and then you keep seeing these verticals.
Yeah.
Well, let's just quickly take one out and see what it does. If it's worth going through the effort here. So let's try a healing brush first. And get up here so I can see it. Just kind of, yeah, it doesn't take much to do it.
No.
No.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that would help. a
Yeah,
lot.
that's all you need.
Yeah, that's it.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind them so much in
Yeah.
here. These were kind of just leading in there too much.
Yeah, and that. Yeah, very good.
Okay.
Oh,
So this is up in Aravipa. You guys know where that is?
Mm-mm.
yeah. Roughly,
Uh,
northeast of Tucson.
yeah, you go out towards Oracle, and then you just go on until you go through. What's that town?
San Manuel.
San Manuel, yeah. And they're on your way, and you just go straight on that highway, and there's a turnoff there. There's a little bed and breakfast there, and this is a nice little orchard. You just kind of, it's at the bed and breakfast. So
Hmm. Yeah,
Blossoms are beautiful.
yeah. Yeah, and then got saguaros on the hillside beyond. It's
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah, and the wildflowers in front.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of trees those are, Jim?
I think they were apricot or no, you know what they were? They were plum.
Plums,
Hmm. Okay,
Plum and peaches, I think they
Yeah.
were raising.
nice.
Before I get away, you got one more to go, but I wanted to know if anybody was interested in a matting press that I have that I'm going to give away. Does anybody want one? Or can the camera club use it?
Yeah, possibly, or I could take a look at it. It's a matting cutter, or?
No, it's a hot press.
Oh, a dry mount press?
Dry mount.
Dry
Yeah,
mount
dry
press.
mount.
Oh, I need one badly. I've got 2 prints here that are coming off their backings.
Oh,
and,
really?
and I gave mine away in Chicago. How big is it?
It's 11 by 14, but then, you could,
Yeah,
Yeah.
move it around. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that'll handle it. I've got some
Yeah.
old Elliott Porter die transfers, and they're starting to fall away from their mount.
yeah, no, it's a good machine. It's just been sitting around. So
Yeah, I'd
I'd
love
love
to.
to be able to just give it to somebody that could use it.
Yeah, I'll take it. And if anybody else wants it after I'm finished, that's great. Yeah, they're great. You still have the wax paper adhesive?
I think so, yes. I threw it, I think they're in the trash now.
Oh,
So
okay.
I
Well, if
better
it didn't
put them-
disappear, yeah, I
I
might need
guess.
to.
But you can get them online anyway.
Yeah, yeah. All right, yeah, I'll email you and we'll make arrangements.
Yeah, let's make arrangement. I can come meet you or whatever.
Okay, Jim, perfect. That's great. Because I was gonna go up to the center up at the university and see if they had one. I wasn't sure where to find one. That's great. Okay. Let's go look at this last one here.
Oh,
This is
Nice.
from my travels in India,
hmm.
and just found this guy by the roadside there, just a shepherd, and just thought he was really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
Kind of at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, there's a lot to see in that.
I'm thinking, do you have Neo, Jim? I can't remember.
No, I don't. I've got
Topaz, though.
well, I've got Topaz, but I've got the earlier version of Neo. What
Oh, the AI, just Luminar
the
AI.
AI, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I guess, yeah, I don't remember if it has enhanced in it or not, but Neo, just that a little bit of enhanced, but basically all it does is it plays around with clarity and contrast and a few other things. Did I bring it in? Let's see. Okay. Let's try it again. For some reason. It doesn't want to do anything. It's well
Froze
forced.
up.
Yeah. I guess I'll try and force quit it. Oh, it's not even, yeah, there it is. All right. Really? It doesn't want to die. Okay. Let's just see if it'll open again. Well, if I can get around that. What? Nope, it's not even going to the right image. All right, we'll forget that. Maybe we can try, oh, no, we're back to where we were. Let's try the old AI. It's just that one you have.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
see if that'll work. Yeah, there we go. Let me just make it a little lower because my Zoom stuff wants to get in the way. Oh yeah, look at that. It does have enhance. I forgot. Okay. Yeah, just a little that enhance might.
Yeah, let me
I'm sorry, this is in the way here. Just
so
so yeah, under AI, the enhance might be enough to do that, and then you could just wonder if there's anything else that might make sense. If you go into develop, where was that? I haven't used this since, oh, it's called light. Yeah, they changed it to develop. And I think is yeah, at some point, but yeah, maybe you can just open those highlights a little bit and up the whites. And yeah, that might be just enough there. Yeah,
oh yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Just a bit, yeah.
All right,
Very good.
put that,
No.
put that. I don't know what to do with this. Ignore. Reopen that. It's not going away. Well, I guess we're gonna stick it down here somewhere.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that has trouble with that.
Yeah, computers can be on recruiters.
Oh,
Okay,
oh,
so
This, just a couple, what's, yeah,
close that out. There we go. All right.
Yeah, this was when I was flying up to, well, this is in Washington State, actually. And I just took some aerial photos through the plexiglass window.
Mhm.
Are
And,
you up there now, Jim?
yeah, I just got up here, so this one, I believe, yeah, this is the Olympic Mountains actually in the background there, and there's just a cloud deck there.
Wow.
That's really cool because it just looks like it's sitting on top of something.
Yeah,
That it's free floating, or that's not how I want to say it, but it's
Yeah.
like, looks like two different layers.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Pretty neat.
Wonder, is that produced by just temperature gradients, like warmer air below and cooler above?
yeah, so the air rises up and it cools as it rises until, the air reaches a saturation point and then you get clouds.
Okay, yeah,
So when there'll be a little bit of turbulence below the clouds and then, it's real smooth above the clouds. So I was flying above the clouds to keep, smoother.
I have no
Air.
idea why it doesn't want to just use drag and drop, but there we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm just wondering if you could get a little more out of this area here where you've got the little bits of rays. And I don't know. Let's try enhance first and just see what it does. I'm just looking below the clouds there. Yeah, it looks like that might work out a little bit.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, that looks
Yeah,
good.
and you can take the sky down a bit, and it's starting to get a little bit too saturated, but I think we can play with that in a bit. Let's look at the smart contrast too and see if that maybe just a little bit of that, but it kind of highlights. And let's see if we go like that and then play with our blacks and whites.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah, that kind of works. Now it's getting kind of blown in here, but we can get rid of that pretty easily. I think what we can do is first we'll just mask off. And we could probably do this with the gradient. Let's try something here. We'll do a linear gradient, and I'm just going to click and drag a little bit. Actually, I want to go the other way. Yeah. Good thing I'm not flying your plane. Yeah, more like that. Okay. Oh, it's got an invert. Geez, I could have just done that. Okay. Yeah. So now it's pretty much just working on the bottom area. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that kind of works.
Yeah, that's better.
And then there's just a little bit in here, so you just got a brush and just do an erase and just kind of make sure you don't get any right here. Yeah, there you go. And then you can even, punch it even a little more if you want. Now really pull your whites and blacks and see what happens there. And then overall, you can just go into color if you want and just desaturate slightly. There you go. Maybe color with the vibrance. Yeah, I think that picked it up. So now you got an excuse to play with Neo. Okay. Let's hide it. All right. Look at another variation here.
oh,
Yeah, just the same thing, only different view, different angle, including some Hood's Canal.
Boy, those reflections are beautiful.
Yeah. I can't remember. I don't think I did one where I just did the reflections of the clouds only. And it was kind of cool. I don't think I included that today. I also forgot my Mount Hood shot today, but I'll throw them in next time.
All righty.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Love those shadows.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's just some pilings and the tide flats and
Oh,
you're throwing the shadows there. So in a dike along their levee.
Mhm. Wow.
Did you do that in your plane or your what's you call it? Drone.
Yeah, no, I did this shortly after those last two pictures from the plane.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you kind of swept down there.
Yeah. I'm at about 1,000 feet, roughly about 1,000, 1,100 feet when I'm taking this shot.
Hmm.
So, you know, I'm not real high.
Mhm.
So I'm getting close to my destination. So I'm getting down lower.
Were those the colors actually that you photographed?
Oh, I think the green is a little bit off. It's probably a little more yellow than it was, a little darker, slightly darker. But otherwise, the colors are pretty
Wow.
accurate, I'd say.
Neat. Yeah.
I played around with the cropping a lot. I wasn't,
Mhm.
you know, because there's kind of it's a kind of a funny angle, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, I like the way it leads away and off the page.
Mhm.
Makes
Yeah.
you want to know what's back here, that there's more beyond the crop. It's nice. Real nice.
And then I just threw in one bird portrait I did yesterday. And you know, actually, if you see this with your eye, you cannot see all the detail there.
Mhm.
But you know, using the tools in Photoshop and stuff, you can find, you know, see the bird's quite dark, and so it's kind of solid looking, kind of like up around the eye. But with Photoshop, you can really bring out some of the feather detail. So.
Well, he's
So
got
all
that
the purple martin, they migrate all the way down to South America, but they're back up here now.
Mm. Yeah, you can see that iridescence from the purple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
kind of a pretty attractive bird.
Mhm.
What's his wing there? It looks like somebody took it off or something. You see that?
oh, you mean
Kind of the
going up
shoulder.
above the black on the right side?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just think that's some kind of, you know,
No,
different.
up high, higher,
Yeah, there's some, it's just a
Oh,
different,
right there, yeah,
I think that's just a joint and the different feathers. I
yeah.
don't- Yeah,
It almost looks like his breast feathers came over the top of his wing. Like when he tucked it down, the breast feathers came over.
right.
Yeah, I think that's what's
I
going
think
on.
that's just part of the wing, upper part of the wing. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, because I think the wing actually comes across this way, but this stuff just got in front of it. It's really got some delicate little claws too.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, I liked it. Well, thanks, Jim.
All right, thanks.
I take it your inspection got approved.
Yeah, I finally got that guy back to sign all my paperwork, so I'm legal.
Yeah, good. That's excellent. Feather duster.
Feather duster, yeah. I took this a couple years ago. Then just didn't, other than bringing up the detail and contrast, had a shallow depth of field, so that's how the background, that's the colors of the background.
Mhm.
Just really blurred it. They're kind of hard to, with all the, I'm glad I did this a couple years ago. With all the wind we've had this year, you wouldn't be able to get those kind of pictures.
I know. I was out with my brother trying to shoot in the little desert garden over here, and it was just impossible.
Yeah,
You know. I mean, it was most hard to go out of the frame and then come back in, and Yeah. You didn't know how to focus. I said, oh, the heck with it.
I actually had this printed on metal and it turned out pretty cool.
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really look fun on metal. Oh, nice. Well, I guess we're all thinking in the same direction, as I've got flowers to show as well. It must be spring.
That's nice.
This is recent. I think I went down to Desert Meadows Park a couple weeks ago. So this is just prickly pear, and then I took it into topaz, brought up the detail a little bit, and then this is one of the presets, the Edward Hopper
Oh, yeah.
preset,
Mhm.
and then just backed it off a little bit.
Yeah, nice. I'll probably darken or even color these a bit to,
Okay.
yeah, keep them out of there. Yeah, just a little bit here too. Yeah, that's
Nice
about it on that. one.
texture.
Beautiful texture, yeah.
Those are good to eat.
That's what I understand. If you got the right gloves to be able to handle
Yeah, right.
the fruit.
Yeah, for sure. A real quick fix for that would be the camera raw.
Okay.
Just grab your local masking, and I would probably go for luminance, and then just pick this here,
Okay.
and then this is what I was expecting to find in the color range, but I didn't see it. But you can take the mid-tone side of it out to about maybe about here. You gotta watch the area you want to get corrected, and you don't want to go too far. Like that's too far there.
Sure.
So probably somewhere like about there.
There. Okay.
Yeah. And then the rest of this you can just erase where you don't want it. So not knowing quite where it's going to go, I would just do a subtract with a brush, and you certainly don't want it here or anywhere up in here. Kind of hard to tell with this color. You could change your color, I guess.
Uh-huh.
You just undo that. Change this to something like blue. That'd be easier to see. There you go. So let me. I gotta go back here. Subtract. Yeah, I guess when you hit undo, it undoes everything.
Well, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, including the brush. Okay. So now you can kind of see where you're getting rid of it. And we'll leave it on these petals for now and see if we want it there or not. But then basically, you just take your highlights down. And,
Okay.
And your whites down a bit. And then just go to there's a couple things you can do. You can go take your color temperature and make it kind of, maybe you want to go yellow and green with it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And then drop your exposure down a bit.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be enough. And then just get rid of it over here where you don't want it. There you go. So
Okay.
that's a quick, easy way to fix that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay. There we go.
And then this is in Indiana. This is Conner Prairie. They call it a living history museum. I've just been kind of going through Lightroom and cleaning up my catalog a little bit, so I was coming across things. So I just kind of like the scene. It's nothing fancy, but I again took it into topaz and brought the detail. Well, first I took it in luminar and added the sky because the sky was just flat. There was nothing there. Then took it to topaz and brought up the detail and contrast, and then put an oil painting filter on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that helps.
Very, very nice.
Yeah,
like what it did to the barn and the
yeah,
ground.
different effect.
And little bits here and there in the foliage. Yeah, that's a nice touch. Very nice.
And then this is from Sunday night, from the, this is before the eclipse really started, but I like the cloud. It isn't the greatest shot because it's dark and the clouds, but I liked how the clouds were coming over the moon, and then I got the silhouette of this, whatever type of tree it is, coming in front of it.
Yeah, it was real mysterious as it was coming up over the mountain with all those clouds coming across it. Yeah, I like the glows you got here. It's fun. I'm just thinking you gotta, crop it for what it is.
Okay, sure.
Keep it all tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
And this last one is back at Connor Prairie.
Mhm.
Oh,
That's cool.
Yeah,
And again, I've cropped it a bit just to get out some of the bottom and some of the barn. And then again, a topaz filter, not a dramatic HDR, but just one of the dramatic filters, and then backed off a bit. And I wanted to bring up the texture and the lamb that's in foreground, bring up his coat a little bit more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just kind of like the scene because the other guy's just sort of playing peekaboo.
yeah.
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 Or take maybe a gradient and bring this down a bit so your eye
Okay.
stays here. And then again, with that luminosity, you could kind of mask this off and darken it up a little bit. Maybe get a little detail out of it. I don't know.
Okay,
That would work. And then darken this down a little bit too.
okay.
Not too much, but yeah, this one I think is a big offender.
Mhm.
Yeah. Really keep the focus. Although this
Very good.
guy you can zoom right into the first glance anyway. Yeah, it's fun. Cool, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, we saw everybody, I think. Yeah, good. All right, let me jump in the Lightroom. I showed these in Windows class initially
Yeah.
last week. I shot a series of hand shots for a friend in black and white. So figured since they're black and white, I'd go to Windows class with them. And thought I'd just show you guys one if you hadn't seen them. Yeah, it's just kind of fun. Yeah. With the 100 macro on the R5.
So that was a recent shot?
This one? Yeah, this was I think last Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, a week ago last Thursday, yeah, because it was before Windows class
Yeah.
on Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. This was probably a little after you shot yours. Coming up with the same kind of mystical glow. I like that too. And the cool thing about it was the eclipse was already starting, so the bottom was
Yeah.
starting to go away. Yeah. So I thought it was kind of neat. This one I actually did HDR of 5 images just to get everything in the right exposure. So moon was too blown when I could get any detail in the mountain and vice versa. So
The tree detail, tree line's nice.
yeah. Yeah, I think the tree line where it glows is the best part right up in here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was considering just cropping it really tight as well, just for this area.
Very nice.
Oh, thanks. And there's the full one.
I like this.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
anybody know why it turns red?
I think it's the way it refracts through the atmosphere with the lack of yellow. It's something to do with the blue layer of the atmosphere. I can't remember exactly how it plays on it, but that's how and what affects it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find out Google, especially before it happened. There's a lot of articles on it. I just don't remember the exact details.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I'd read something like that, the atmosphere of the Earth
Yeah.
created the filter.
The interesting thing I found after shooting the Milky Way, a few weeks before, I thought, oh yeah, well maybe I could do like a 2 or 4 second exposure. Well, guess what? The moon moves too fast. So,
Yeah.
the longest
Yeah.
exposure I could give it was a second, and with the way I had the 2x extender, and I was up already at 500 millimeters, the wide open aperture at that point was f14, so I had to keep raising my ISO till I could get something at about a second. So I was about 6,400 ISO. It was pretty noisy.
Wow.
So I had to do a lot of manipulation with the noise to get that down. But that Topaz denoise helped quite a bit.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that bright spot down about the 8 o'clock position.
Yeah, me too. I think part of it is some of the denoise sharpening, and then some of it was just there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not some moon lander that's got its lights on.
Whoops. I keep hitting the middle of my darn thing. Yeah, I'm almost thinking of toning it down more like this,
Oh, yeah.
range, or even this one. But yeah, it looks like a crater with a big trail behind it, kind of not as dramatic as this one. This one was
Right, yeah.
a major explosion. But yeah, that's a pretty good sized crater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I was down the Desert Garden Museum as well.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty hot out, but if you stayed under the trees, it wasn't too bad. And while I was under there, I found these guys. So this is all macro.
So what are they?
I have no clue. They're on a tree. So I know. They're not flowers like in the grounds. They're on branches.
Yeah, wonder if they're acacia flowers.
Yeah, I don't know.
The leaves look like acacia.
They almost look like perfect little acorns or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got one.
They're right by that side gate where all the private plots are, where people grow things in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
On the west gate, there's like that little trellis, and they're right to the left to the north side of that. There's a tree there, and that's where they were, but I have no clue what they're called.
Yeah.
What lens were you shooting with?
The 100 macro again.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think these are about f4. I just left f4 throughout the day, just to see what kind of depth of field I'd get and what I could hold. And again, it was pretty windy. I just kind of have to wait. And sometimes I could grab at the stuff below, kind of limit its movement a bit, shoot one-handed. So I didn't have a tripod, so they're all handheld. There's another one.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
Yeah, looks like the heat was starting to get it. But I thought I'd go into Topaz and get Painterly and play around and see what happened there. So gotta play around with chalk effects this time.
yeah.
Then playing with the coverage and a little bit of the white vignette to get the white edges and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, some of the Painterly effects get a little corny, but I think this one looks pretty realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I suppose now I'm looking at this, maybe I'd soften this up a little bit because everything else looks like it's just a little softer. Yeah, I think that one worked out. really
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
too.
that one works.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little green monster over there.
Yeah.
Kermit the Frog.
Right. And then I thought I'd try just
Oh,
another
wow.
effect on that
That's really good.
dropping one. Yeah, I think that works better than the chalk effect.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that was my play around time this week.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks. Let me stop everything here.